I'm going to do this, in a very natural way. I am going to read. I'm not going to read it and then process it. We're going to do this together. There are three pennies that I found today that two of them I believe are strike throughs, and the third one I'm not exactly sure what that's called. If it's a strike through or a trail or what have you. If it's even an error at all. So I'm going to read what's on PCGS. Two types of struck through error coins. When a coin is struck, it should be produced from dies that are clean and free of residues, debris, or other random objects, so that when the dies come together to strike the planchet, a perfect strike will result. If, however, there is something between the dies or on the dies or planchet, the result will be a struck through error, resulting in part or even all of the design missing on the coin. Struck through errors are the most common mint error type, and it is a very broad category comprising many variations. It is also one of the most dramatic mint error types, with the error often being obvious to the unaided eye. There are two basic categories of struck through errors. The first is just called a strike through, and the second type is called struck through and retained, which I've never even heard of before. And I on the on Wikipedia with the mint errors, I don't remember reading something in the strike through, which I saw this and it looked kind of more simple of an explanation, so I picked this over the Wikipedia, which is a little complicated to be honest with you, or long-winded. Both types are related since all struck through something, with the difference being in that something was retained on the coin or fell away afterwards. Oh, so struck through and retained means it's still on the coin. Oh, how cool is that? Imagine that. having a penny with a staple in it or something like that. Okay, and they have the image up here, struck through. Oh, cloth, and you can see. Oh, this is pretty cool. All right, so I'm just gonna. I hope I can put it the same. So look at this. Struck, and you can see the cloth pattern there. How wicked is that? Struck through cloth. How wicked is that? Okay, let's see if I can put it back to see the pennies. Okay, that's a miracle. A strike through is simply a coin that was struck through something, but the object it was struck through is no longer present on the coin. Such a coin may have a shape, design, or other identifying characteristics in the struck through area of the coin, but the object or substance itself will not be retained on the coin. This is the most common of the two struck through types. The reason it is the most common is that most strike through errors result in the objects the coin is struck through falling away and getting separated from the error after being struck, or because the object may stay stuck on the die and keep striking coins until it is worn down and effectively destroyed. Another reason it is more common is because of the way the strike through errors are made, which we will discuss shortly. Okay. All right. So we're not going to look at struck through and retained. Okay. So they have an image of struck through of webbing. The webbing is still there, I guess. Uh, Object mint fall away likely. Bags, counting machines, the items of value, 10 times the value. Okay, the basic fundamental rule. All right. Well, that I hate to say it, struck through errors are going appealing for all budget levels. So that, and again, so that doesn't when another object comes between a blank and a die. Okay, so that's what the strike through is. Now the question is, so is that a strike through? See, I believe that's a strike through, but now obviously the coin has all this other stuff going on with it, and that's really what I was looking for to see if they spoke about a strike through where there's like, there was just a dirty um uh, where there was multiple things on the die, something like this, right? Because what most people say is, oh, that's dirt that was run over in a parking lot by a car. Well, that's a very specific shape, and this one specifically. So I'm going to say not run over by a car, and it doesn't have the scratches or anything like that. It's just items that were here that were struck, as opposed to something that was scratched. Like being run over in the parking lot. So that's this one. Again, very similar. Both sides. And you got like letters. Look at the N and the S. I mean, things are like moved around. So this is the error that I've seen more often than not. And look at that. And it's not run over by a car because you don't see the scratching. There's no scratching involved. There's no scratching on this. A single shot up and down. It was hit. Um, See if this one. Anyway, it's confusing to me. That's the bottom line. If there's one that's going to be more of a parking lot type of a coin, it would be this one. This one has more of the angular thing that was struck once. Anyway, I'm not an expert, just saying. And this, I want to say this is it's called the trail, right? Which I did not look up. So there we got it. I'm gonna get a comment, and the comment, usually they're correct. This one, I don't know. I mean, it's moved. The letters look moved around, and I don't see any scratching. That's the part that gets me going about it being a parking lot find. But if there's one that's gonna be a parking lot find, it would probably be this one. It's both sides. Does have a certain beauty to it. That much I will say. But this one I'm going to assume is a strike through. Okay, so there we go. I want to do a short video on that. We had these three interesting coins with difficult for me to identify what's going on with them. They might all be errors. There might be one error. There might be two errors. There might be no errors. But I wanted to show that, and I'll see you on the next one.